Are you struggling with SVG icons and gradients not rendering correctly across different browsers? You're not alone. Today, we're diving into a common issue that many developers face when working with SVGs. I totally get it. It can be incredibly frustrating when your beautifully designed SVGs don't look the same in every browser. This is a challenge many web developers encounter, and it can really throw a wrench in your design plans. Here's the specific question we're addressing today. One user asked, is there a cross-browser way to get SVG linear gradients working as fills for elements when referencing symbols with SVG use markup? If you face this issue, stick around as we explore the solutions together. So what's the deal with SVG gradients and browser compatibility? Different browsers handle SVG rendering in unique ways, especially when it comes to external files and gradients. Understanding this will help us troubleshoot effectively. And don't go anywhere. I have a crucial tip at the end that could save you a lot of headaches when working with SVGs. To address the cross-browser issues with SVG gradients, the user should first ensure that the SVG file is properly structured. This includes defining the gradient within the SVG file's definitions section. Next, the user should reference the gradient correctly in the symbol definition. This means using the gradient's ID in the fill attribute of the shape within the symbol. After setting up the SVG file correctly, the user should ensure that the referencing markup in the HTML file is accurate. This involves using the correct xlink href attribute to point to the SVG file and the symbol. Finally, the user should test the SVG in different browsers to confirm that the gradient renders correctly. If issues persist, consider using a fallback method or inline SVG as a workaround. Fun fact, SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics, and it's a powerful tool for creating responsive designs. But even the best tools can have quirks. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user suggests an alternative approach to using SVG symbols. They recommend calling individual elements directly instead of the entire symbol. This method helps avoid issues with the shadow DOM, which can complicate CSS styling. Additionally, they advise removing internal styles from the symbol and applying them directly to the use command. This ensures better control over styling and rendering across different browsers. Now, let's shift our focus to a different response. An alternative approach suggested by a user involves using the linear gradient definition in a slightly different way. They recommend specifying the gradient stops using the style attribute, like this: style equals stop color black for the first stop, and style equals stop color white for the second stop. This method is how Inkscape implements gradients. Here's the tip I promised. Always test your SVGs in multiple browsers during development. This proactive approach can save you from surprises later on. And there you have it. With these tips, your SVG icons should render beautifully across all browsers. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on web development.